What's up, friends? Why don't we explore some of the most important time travel films of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s? Besides Back to the Future, of course. You know, time travel films have always fascinated me. They've gone to capture the minds and the hearts of and imaginations of audiences throughout the decades. So let's go ahead and dig in, okay? Now, there are a couple in here that I'm not so sure many have actually made time to see. So I wanted to explore those as well. So I hope you enjoy. All right, so the first one's interesting. It's 1989's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, it's a comedic time travel movie basically that follows two high school students who travel through time to gather historical figures for a school presentation. The film is important, the time travel genre, because of its lightheartedness and basically its take on the concept and making it very, very digestible and very fun to watch and very comedic to watch. And its emphasis on the importance of history. Now, when I was growing up, I really enjoyed history in school. It was one of my favorite subjects. Because all I really needed to do was remember the dates and the historical information, right? And the movie also features a memorable performance from George Carlin as Rufus, the duo's mentor and guide throughout the film. Now, here's an interesting point of trivia about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It was originally supposed to be titled Bill and Ted's Time Van. And the script was written by Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon while they were roommates in college. Okay, now here's a favorite from 1991, Terminator 2. Guys, I still run into people that have not seen this flick. It's unbelievable to me. Now, Terminator 2 Judgment Day is the highly acclaimed sequel to the original Terminator movie. If you know this about me, the first Terminator film, I believe, is one of the top 10 films of the 1980s and is a must-watch if you're a cinephile and you're into films. You gotta see that movie. Okay, so in Terminator 2, there's a cyborg assassin who's sent back in time to protect a young boy who will one day lead the human resistance against machines, and that's John Connor. The movie's important time travel genre for its innovative use of visual effects and its exploration of the concept of fate and the possibility of changing the future. Now, here's an interesting point of trivia about T2. The character of the T-1000, a shape-shifting liquid metal Terminator, was created using groundbreaking CGI technology that had never been used in cinema before. Okay, guys, third film is one of my favorites and really underappreciated for a 1980s film. It's 1981's Time Bandits. You guys, I remember this film. My teacher pulled it out in one of those TV trays into the room in my third grade class, and that was the first time I'd seen Time Bandits. Now, Time Bandits, it's a fantasy movie directed by Terry Gilliam that follows a young boy who joins a group of time-traveling dwarves on a series of adventures through history. Now, you know I love history, and if you love history, you're going to love this flick. It's funny, it's entertaining all the way around, and the villain is pretty awesome. The film is important to the time travel genre because of its imaginative and surreal take on time travel, and for its blending of historical figures and mythological elements into a cohesive story. An interesting point of trivia about Time Bandits is that the movie was co-written by Michael Palin and Terry Gilliam, who were both members of the comedy troupe Monty Python. It's only a flesh wound. Okay, guys, the fourth film is 1994's Time Cop, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. I find so many people still have not seen this flick. Probably because by the time Van Damme was he was basically only a couple films away from making Double Team with Dennis Rodman, which pretty much tanked his career, unfortunately. I think the next project Van Damme worked on was like in 2018 or something after that. Time Cop, it stars Jean-Claude Van Damme as a time-traveling police officer who must stop a corrupt politician from altering the past for personal gain. Possibly might be a good premise for real life. But anyway, the film is important to the time travel genre for its high-octane action sequences and its creative use of time travel concepts, such as the idea that time travel can create dangerous time ripples that can alter the course of history. An interesting point of trivia for Time Cop is that the film was based on a comic book series of the same name published by Dark Horse Comics. Now, whether or not you are a Van Damme fan, which honestly, how can you not be? The film is worth checking out because it's actually got a fun story, and the opening sequences are very, very cool. Very high concept. I love them. All right, the last film and fifth film that I'm going to mention is Frequency, and that's from the year 2000. Another one that I found that, has not been seen or viewed by a larger audience. Frequency basically is a sci-fi thriller that follows a New York City firefighter who discovers he can communicate with his deceased father via ham radio and attempts to prevent his father's death in the past, leading to unintended consequences in the present. Now, a lot of people are going to go, what's a ham radio? All right, I'll let you look that up. I'll let you Google it. The film is important to the time travel genre for its exploration of the concept of time loops and its emphasis on the importance of family and relationships. There's an interesting point of trivia about frequency. The film was directed by Gregory Hoblit, who is known for his work on television series such as New York NYPD Blue and Chicago Fire. Listen, the film is really interesting, and if you have a young kid into film, into cinema, it's totally worth watching together. All right, guys, here's a quick list of honorable mentions in the time travel genre. Groundhog Day, obviously, 1993. I would say 12 Monkeys, 1995. The Butterfly Effect, 2004, I believe. Donnie Darko, 2001. All great films and worth checking out. Okay, and that's a wrap on our journey through some of the most important time travel movies of the past few decades. From the imaginative and surreal Time Bandits to the groundbreaking and visually stunning Terminator 2, each of these films has made an indelible mark on the time travel genre and has inspired countless other movies and TV shows. And let's not forget the honorable mentions, from the time-looping Groundhog Day to the mind-bending Donnie Darko. Each of these films has added something unique and compelling to the conversation of time travel in pop culture. I hope you enjoyed my exploration of time travel in this film and that you've been inspired to check out some of these classic movies for yourself. If you made it this far, drop down in the comments and let me know which time travel flick is your fave besides Back to the Future, you guys, all right? Stay rad and be excellent to each other.